Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lipo Podcast. The lights on the Lipo Podcast. I'm your host, Joey, and always we have the always coughing COVID-52 Kyler.
I haven't coughed in like 2 months.
I'm hosting. Why can't my webcam focus, Wiley? And don't remember what I just said, Darian.
That's pretty
spot
fair.
on.
Pretty fair.
This guy forgets what he's saying mid-sentence.
All the time. I was like, what's Joey gonna call me here? That was good.
And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us here. We have a special guest, Angel.
Count.
Angel, please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Angel.
Why would you introduce yourself?
Very good.
Works every time.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So as always, everybody, we're going to start with entertainment news. So let's get right into it. Darian, Wiley, take over.
We're starting with the episode because entertainment news is the episode now.
I know, but that's why, it's entertainment news.
But we have other things we're gonna hit.
We also have the Hawkeye review.
Exactly. So,
True.
I mean, before we get started, we are the only podcast
Go ahead.
sponsored by Crosspoint Fitness or Crosspoint Nutrition and Prospect. So shout out to Crosspoint. Thank you very much.
Shout
Awesome.
out to
There you
the
go.
best protein shakes in the state.
That's right.
The homie Christina always hooking up those shakes.
That's right.
Is that the one that's right by
Wesley's
the barbershop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I've been there too.
Mhm.
It is
It's-
actually really good. I had the
It's
peanut butter
really
one.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Animal cracker every time.
I've
Animal
been
cracker?
switching it up every
Oh.
single time. Strawberry
You
banana
try
is
something
still my
chocolate.
favorite to date. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What tea do you get? Because
I
got
switch it up every
some,
time
like,
also.
each one. Okay.
Strawberry acai.
Okay.
I got straight up
Peach one was a
strawberry
little
last
sweet.
time. That was my favorite.
Strawberry acai.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's acai,
I
acai.
think it's acai.
I'm sure someone will tell us in the comments. I'd appreciate that. Spell it phonetically, please, so I know.
True.
Well, we're already off track. Let's get into
I know. I was just about to say that.
So
So-
starting. Oh, you got something? Go for it.
No, actually, it'd probably be better if you start.
Oh, great. All right. So something a little less controversial. James Franco has spoke. Oh wait, never mind. Let me not hit on that. Jake Gyllenhaal and Taylor Swift. Wait, hold up. Let me start over. Scientists have discovered a fully formed dinosaur in an embryo, fully preserved
Is there
for the first
like,
time
a movie on this?
in
or-
an egg. No, like they just
It's
like
just a science fact?
no, they found it recently. It's called the Oviraptorosaurus in the
but
egg.
what?
So for the first time, it's like a full fossil baby embryo.
Oh, we can leave this thing alone.
It was
That
like
the question.
It was like yeah,
Pull it up here.
it was
Right
like
here?
covered in a mudslide. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
That's actually a
Wow,
rendering.
This is a reconstruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Look at that.
Interesting.
So we're looking at a picture right now of
got
this
a
little
beak.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
so
a dinosaur.
that
I've ever seen one.
dinosaur is known for like stealing eggs. It's one of those dinosaurs that would steal other
How old is the
Swiper, no
embryo?
swiping.
Ooh, I mean, at least over 100 years, I believe.
Easily over 100. I don't even think
About
it's close.
6, maybe 7.
I don't know.
So much.
But they said most likely what happened was the egg was swept away in like a mudslide and then got frozen and then
It's pretty wild. Can you imagine the stuff that's hidden underground underneath like
Yo,
sediment and all that
it's
crazy stuff?
insane.
Or maybe in the ocean.
Don't even.
That's true.
Oceans Part 2.
Oh, whoa!
Oh, maybe in
Oh.
the works. Uh-oh.
Darian's
Oh
choking.
goodness. Yeah, not good.
You out there, buddy?
Yeah. So Spider-Man has it has the second highest domestic opening weekend ever for the United States, which is wild, and it is now on track to beat $1 billion at the box office, which is wild considering we're still in the pandemic era.
It had
So-
the highest Monday ever. It beat out Infinity War and Endgame.
That's great. Imagine
Monday.
if there was no COVID or anything like that. All the
Yeah,
states
probably.
that like had like people not go in big numbers. Dude,
Yep.
that's how big this movie was.
Monday?
Easily beats out Endgame.
By how much?
I think
wonder?
not in COVID, it 100% beats out Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
You think for total box office?
Yeah.
100%. No doubt about it.
I don't know about that one,
No
Chief.
doubt
I got to
about
see
it.
where this one ends off.
No doubt about it.
Joey, where do you
would-
sit on this?
I
Or
wouldn't
are
be
you not going to
surprised.
speak on it?
No, I like to stay in my safe spot. Thank you.
Oh my
Joey's
God.
Sweden in all discussions.
Have an
Disgusting.
opinion for once in your life, Joey.
Or Switzerland.
Would it be
Isn't it
Endgame or no?
Switzerland?
Switzerland.
Probably
Yeah.
Will it be
Switzerland.
Endgame?
No,
No,
right,
would it
current.
if it was in normal times.
If it was normal times, yes.
Wow.
It's close
All right, maybe I'm wrong.
without
Yeah.
in pandemic. So
Where is it at right now overall?
Well, it's at 880 million right now. We have to see where the box office drop goes in second and third weeks. That's what decides total box office for movies. Opening
telling you
weekend
right
means
now.
a lot, but
Here's what's gonna happen. Obviously, without getting into spoilers, same thing they did with Endgame. They're gonna start slowly with like their promo and their TV spots and their new trailers, slowly spoiling it as they did with Endgame.
Yeah.
Like they showed like all the Avengers and they showed Cap with the hammer, stuff like that. So,
pretty crazy.
and then that's gonna bring out the people who were like, maybe I'm skeptical, and then they're gonna be like, oh shoot, let me go watch this movie, and it's gonna jump up. So
It's possible. We'll see where it ends off. It's if it beats 2 billion right now, then I'd agree with you guys. I think in normal times it would have beaten Endgame.
You also got to take into account the fact that Endgame extended their times for the theaters
also,
to have that
true.
movie
Agreement.
beat out Avatar.
that's true.
They did do a
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
little things like
that's
that to beat out
right.
Avatar.
That is true.
And didn't they bring it back too? Like after
Yeah.
a few
Yeah.
months, they just threw it back in.
But then,
Yeah, to be
but then,
Avatar.
but then Avatar did it too. Avatar was like, let's just
Yeah.
show it in China one more time, and then they beat out the record again.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you can
That's
beat
funny.
it, but then there's gonna be an asterisk next to your name because you didn't do it the same way. Like you had to show it twice.
I guess Avatar to me is more impressive than Endgame in terms of box office, just because it was a brand new IP.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
and at the time,
Ridiculous.
like
there was no like prelude. It was just there.
yeah,
No,
Mhm.
there's no. This had Endgame had 10 years of build up with all these characters that we've come to know and love, and you drop after one of the biggest cliffhangers in movie history. You had to see it.
Now with Avatar 2 coming out next year, we're gonna see that like absolute bomb because I there's a lot of hate that surprises me around Avatar. A lot
it
of
doesn't
people
surprise me.
don't like. I liked it. I
I enjoy
get that
it
there's
thoroughly,
stuff wrong
but it
with
doesn't surprise me that other people don't. It doesn't surprise me.
But the like hatred that a lot of people have towards that movie, like they go to bat to
You know why?
absolutely trash that movie.
Because whenever something is the best at what it is, people will go out of their way to hate it. Whether it's a sports player like Messi or Jordan, or whether it's the highest earning box office movie of all time, people
Fair
will
enough.
say it's basic, it didn't deserve it, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Is it the
I
best
can see
movie ever? Not in my opinion, but I thoroughly enjoy it, and the rewatchability of that movie is amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm really curious to see how the second one does after what 11, 12 years?
Uh,
2009, right?
13.
13 years when it
13?
comes out.
Okay.
I just don't know,
Yeah.
man.
That's insane.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm ready.
For
some
them, gonna end up re-releasing it in theaters. The first one.
Oh, they will.
I wouldn't be surprised.
100%.
With so
I
much
would
time
watch
in
it.
between.
I
Absolutely.
would too.
I would go
In-
watch it in theater.
In IMAX? Can you imagine?
You say rent out a theater? You said.
Are they still
I think
doing
we
that?
Should.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
still doing
They
it.
are. Yeah.
Really?
There was people who, when they couldn't get tickets for Spider-Man, they were trying to
Just rent out a theater.
recruit like random people to go rent out the theater with them to watch it, to make their own showtime.
Holy cow.
I
I would
think-
do that. That's awesome.
One of my
That's
biggest regrets in life is not seeing Avatar in IMAX, mainly because I was young, not my fault,
Yeah.
but also not seeing Interstellar in IMAX.
Hmm.
I didn't see that movie at the theaters. I saw that movie at home,
I saw it in the theaters
and it's my
twice.
favorite movie of all
I
time.
saw it at home too.
I saw it in the theaters twice.
I saw that in theaters.
And
Actually, D's the
that-
one who showed me.
was it in IMAX?
Yeah.
I don't remember if I saw it in IMAX or not.
Didn't Jace just watch that movie like last week?
Without
himself.
us.
Bedroom?
Without
Disgusting.
us. Like, why?
Disgusting.
Oh my
It's
God.
just like
Who does he think he is?
it's disgusting. Interstellar is a movie to be watched in a group to have a shared bonding emotional experience.
Mhm.
Well, that's what Jace. There you go.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't like any of those things I just listed, so that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, what'd you guys think about the Sonic 2 trailer?
They dropped the trailer.
Oh, I forgot.
Kyler,
Okay,
You
let's put this
commented
on
on it.
pause. Did you?
we sent it in the chat.
I might have seen it and just forgot.
When
Wiley, if we
Knuckles,
show Kyler right now, will it be tough to edit or can we do that?
Oh no. I saw. I don't think I watched the full trailer, but I saw screenshots of Knuckles and stuff.
oh no, yeah. Right now,
That's
I'll
what
just
I-
cut
that's
this
what I
part off.
commented.
I'll just cut this
Let's
part off.
just cut it up.
Yep.
He talks, man. He talks.
Continue.
We're back.
Oh,
We just saw the Sonic 2 trailer. We showed it to Kyler, so now we can all actually speak on it.
Okay. Yeah. No, it
What'd you guys
looks pretty good. I like it. I look what Joey said in Angel about the fact that they're using like the actual video game sound effects and a lot of it. It adds to it. It's subtle, but it adds just that extra little like layer of authenticity to it. It's pretty good. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
this.
It seems like after the speed bumps that they had with the first one, they've kind of found their footing between comedy and good animated style, and maybe this time a good story. It looks like the action looks awesome in that movie.
Isn't
The
it?
first one wasn't terrible. Like it
I heard
wasn't.
it. I haven't
It
seen it
wasn't unwatchable.
Isn't it the
We
highest?
saw it on like a
Isn't it the highest grossing video game movie?
probably.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How did we not talk about
I'm
that?
not
I think
surprised.
it beat out Detective Pikachu probably like a week or something.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Oh, I never saw Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me
no.
neither.
Yeah.
At first, when I
Forgot
when
that
I
movie
first,
existed.
when I first saw this trailer, I didn't know how I felt about Idris Elba as Knuckles, but it was like
No, it's
after I
it
kept
works.
watching it a little
It
bit
was definitely
more,
weird.
Yeah.
the first time that I watched it, I was like, no thanks.
Is,
but then I
um,
kept watching it, and I was like, it could work out.
Is the person playing Tails like a known actor? I
No,
didn't recognize the voice.
The original voice.
The
actor
original
from the
voice
game.
of Tails.
It is him.
Yeah.
That's
Her.
amazing.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about
Oh,
right.
okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
That's
It's-
awesome.
That
Still got my
that
boy John
chaos
Ralphio.
emerald.
It's
Dude.
crazy. It's crazy because I don't think we would have ever gotten a second movie if it weren't for the fans asking for a reanimation of Sonic.
I've never seen something like a movie
Where-
studio having to reanimate an entire movie because of the backlash from a trailer. That was unreal.
That was the best decision they
So
could have made.
It
did
was.
any of you watch the Game Awards? No, you were asleep.
I didn't
during
watch it.
when-
No.
I was
didn't
I was
yeah, right.
I was watching it with Wheelo and Joseph. And they debuted that trailer in the Video Game Awards, and Ben Schwartz himself came out and was talking about it, and he was like, "Yep, thanks to you guys, we listened to you. That we had to reanimate and fix some stuff, and this like they
Oh my
acknowledged
God.
it." And
I just looked up the original animation.
oh, it's so bad.
There's a side by
terrible.
side
It's so
with
bad.
like the new one.
It looks like a little
And
human.
it's so creepy. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, that
So
was
bad.
disgusting.
The body was creepy. It was a tiny
Yeah.
human running around. Ugh.
Oh,
But
I
yeah.
think it was more so the fact that like he was listening to Gangster's Paradise too.
Oh my goodness, it made no sense.
And I was like, what in the world is this?
Yeah, so it was the Sonic trailer too.
He had like
What else you
Adidas
guys
on
have
in the
here?
first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I'm sorry. Okay.
I have
Um,
castrated pig written down here, and I cannot remember why.
What?
Are we keeping that in the episode?
Yeah, I can't-
Yes. Yes.
I write
because,
everything in my light bulb notes, and I don't remember why I have that one. So
I think you opened up the wrong note.
it's under my entertainment news.
That wasn't supposed to be there. That
I
was
would
supposed to be
Google
in your,
that to see if-
YouTube watch history or something.
Maybe there's something that'll jog my memory as to why I wrote that down. But anyway, we can continue with something else.
Okay, so in the vein of animated movies, I have something to throw into entertainment news.
Hmm?
They're making a live-action Lilo and Stitch remake for Disney Plus.
Oh, that's garbage.
I don't
terrible.
want.
don't want to
no,
talk about
it's
it.
not. It's not. Okay. It's described as live action, but it's not live action.
Still animated, just a different animation style.
yes. It's I don't know why.
Oh, different
they
animation style,
Yes, but
Okay.
Stitch
like they did with
actually
SpongeBob
looks-
and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't look
Kinda
like this.
sorta.
I don't want him.
No. That's my okay.
Children
Second-
for the rest of their lives.
Second row. The second one over from the left is what it's actually going to look
Oh,
like.
okay.
Blow
Let me
that
see.
one up.
Wait, which one? Hold on.
Right there. Yeah.
Uh,
It's super cute.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
So
That's totally
it's
fine.
not live action, but it's more like realistic and stuff.
It's realistic with the CGI in it.
Yeah, but even the like Lilo, I don't think is going to be a human. I think she's still going to be animated, but it's like a different kind of animation.
Give me another weekly Lilo and Stitch of just them chasing different monsters down.
Yes, that was awesome.
Okay, did everyone else watch that show?
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Because I was
amazing.
I was talking about it to Crystal and she had no idea what I was talking
every
about.
episode was a different.
loved.
It was a different experiment.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So cool.
And
So they got to
Ruben.
6 to 7, and then
Wasn't that Red Stitch?
yeah, that's when they made the movie Leroy and Stitch.
Ah, that's right. That's
Leroy.
right.
Yeah, I always liked the electric one that was like zapping all over the place.
Oh, wow, I forgot about that one.
I liked him.
Is Lilo and Stitch on Disney Plus?
Yeah,
Yeah,
heck
I'm
yeah.
gonna make my way through this show.
we've seen the movie like 3 or 4 times since then. I love that movie. That's Stitch is one of my favorite Disney characters. Like
The movie
hands
is
down.
awesome. I just watched it the other day
Yeah.
with Ren. Yeah,
I started New Girl finally.
thank the
For the
Lord.
first time.
It's amazing.
Thank
It
the.
is.
How many times have I been telling you this?
Yeah,
I know. It's amazing. I'm like halfway through the first season.
Bro,
the chemistry
it's
from that cast.
Nick
is
and
like,
Schmidt literally makes a show. I've said this after numerous
Yeah.
times watching.
I know.
After numerous times watching, you can literally pluck out Zoe Deschanel. Like you don't even need her in the show, and it's still
No.
just as funny. Like,
And
How about
she's
you
the
leave
main
my girl
character.
Jess alone? Okay. Why don't we do that?
all right, I'll let you watch the whole show, and then I'll have my stuff about
Open.
it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Winston also
Winston's
like
awesome.
the second half of the show. Not
Yeah,
like
'cause he was
any
like-
particular season.
He was like a douche
Total
at the
character
beginning, and then
change.
completely
Yeah.
switched. Yeah, it was crazy.
Once he started wearing the bird shirts, that's when you get the difference.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Winston.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to
Very
let you
good.
guys know.
Well,
So,
anyway.
I'll give you guys a review.
All right, more entertainment news. Daisy Ridley comes
Yes,
to the
please.
MCU.
Yes.
Talk about it.
They didn't say who
Sucker.
she's
Nope.
supposed to
No.
be. Or it's just that
We don't-
she's in
we don't
talks.
Yeah, she's
Squirrel
in
Girl.
serious talks. Yeah.
Okay.
This man keeps saying Squirrel Girl.
I'm hoping
your
it's
mouth.
Squirrel Girl. For those who don't know, it's my favorite or Marvel character.
MCU character.
Yeah.
I was gonna say MCU.
She was in the background of Endgame.
Yeah. She's my
I just-
favorite
I
Marvel
wonder-
character, and I cannot wait.
I
she would
wonder
play.
if she would want. I feel like it wouldn't be a huge character.
I
Because-
think it'll be
I
more
don't
of like
think
a
so
side
either.
So
character or
side
something.
supporting because I don't think she would want to go under that after everything she went through with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't think she would.
I think maybe it'll be something along the lines of Harry Styles' character.
In
he's
Eternals.
Like a more obscure
Yeah.
like side character. Type
Smaller, but will show up in another movie.
maybe.
Or maybe she wants something big.
I have a question that's it's still an MCU, but weren't we supposed to get Miss Marvel this year?
Yeah, I got pushed back
Is
to
that
next year.
is that the Indian girl?
To when? Yeah, Kamala Khan.
She,
Next year, yeah. It's
yeah,
coming out
next year.
Let me see.
I don't remember ever talking about that or hearing anything about that. It was like supposed to be November. and then it
Because
just
they never.
happened.
Well, actually, they technically never gave an official release date for it. They just said like
Oh no.
fall
Interesting.
or winter or
They
whatever.
They said
Yeah.
end of
End of
2021.
End of 2021. They never gave an official date.
Oh. Okay.
Isn't she supposed to come out in the Marvels first?
No, her show's gonna
What's
come
the,
out
is that
first.
that's Captain Marvel too?
Yeah, and then what's the other girl's name from WandaVision?
What, Proton or whatever?
Agatha?
No.
No, Monica Rambeau.
Yes.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Man, she gets her powers going through the.
And they just left that
Force- that's
storyline
right.
completely open.
Yeah, she's gonna come back. I think she's gonna be in Miss Marvel.
forgot
that
about
team.
So wait,
That's
she gets
right.
her own team called the Marvels?
That's just the
Sort
group of them three.
Basically, so Kamala Khan, her outfit is inspired by Captain Marvel because she looks up to her as an idol. So then, kind of like she's like a fangirl type of thing. So at some point, they work together, and it's kind of like they all look the same. So it's like they all.
Is it an all women group? Is that what it is? The
I
Marvels?
believe it'll be Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and I think was it
Bro, that's her
Proton?
name.
Is it Proton?
I think it's
Oh, I
Proton.
yeah,
it
think
is.
so.
Yeah.
It is.
Cool.
Is that like a comic book arc?
Believe so.
I've never heard of that before.
I believe so. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
It'll be
Okay.
interesting.
And that they're gonna turn it into like a show or a movie?
So the Marvels is gonna be essentially Captain Marvel 2, if I'm not mistaken. Like a movie.
So a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not getting Brie Larson anymore. It was Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah,
She's
no,
not.
it's still Brie Larson.
Oh, I was gonna
Oh.
say they
Yeah.
I was like,
recasted her.
whoa.
No,
I
it's
heard that she
huge.
wasn't going to be in it.
Yeah.
that
I mean,
big.
she showed
Would
up at
be
the end of
interesting.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. You're right.
Huh?
Yeah. She'll be fine.
Oh, that's right.
She was the
Wow.
post-credit scene.
Forgot.
Yeah.
I didn't. Wow.
Speaking of Shang-Chi,
I wouldn't be super bummed out if I
Ah,
ever thought
Joey,
they
you're
were
right.
Oh, yeah, Joey. Mm-hmm.
the directors of Shang-Chi want to bring Jackie Chan in for the second one.
And I'm all for it, baby.
Ooh,
Give me more Jackie Chan.
Dang.
Give me some Jackie.
Chan.
that is nice.
Can we
How
get
old do you
Chris
think
Tucker?
Jackie Chan is now?
Can we get Chris Tucker up in there too?
Lee!
You got superpowers.
You know,
Jackie Chan is
Jet-
like 72.
60, oh,
Uh,
67.
It's 67.
Sorry.
67?
oh,
I actually
that's not
guessed
far.
something.
That wasn't far off. Yeah.
Mhm.
Jet Li was in Shang-Chi, right?
That was a
Was
little
it?
bit of a racist question. I don't-
No, because we saw. Shut up. I saw Mulan. Not too
Will
long
not
ago.
comment on this.
Trying
I'm
to-
in my safe space.
I'm trying to remember what the difference was between Mulan and Shang-Chi, and I'm getting them all mixed up.
I didn't.
Because
I've never seen
he
the
was
old
in
or the new
Mulan
one.
and he was fighting in Mulan. Stop looking at me like that.
Kyler,
Wiley.
I know. Kyler, I'm with you. I get what you didn't.
I'm getting the
right.
movies crossed in my head.
It's okay.
Stop
Why?
staring at me with your
Why are you
mouth
getting them
all
across?
open.
Why?
Because they both
Anyways.
take place in like oh, God,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
Don't know who Jackie
They're
Chan would play.
homogenous countries. You have to understand.
So let's not continue this conversation.
I'm helping you out,
Let's move
Kyler.
on to the next. So Keanu Reeves is really pushing to have himself in the MCU.
He's pushing.
again,
I thought they
wants
wanted
to.
him in there.
Yeah, they
He
want
wants
him.
to be in MCU.
He wants to, and,
So
and they
if
want
he
him. They
wants
just
to,
haven't
and if
figured
they-
out a character.
yeah.
But who would he play?
That's why they haven't figured out a
Revan.
right character for him.
Ghost Rider.
Revan.
Revan?
Put him in the MCU.
Okay.
You know,
Wait. Can we take a minute? You know what? I'll come back to this after we talk about this.
no,
Write
you're
it
gonna
down
forget.
before you forget.
You're gonna
Yeah.
forget.
I'm writing
Write
it
it
down.
down.
Next
Write
to
it down
castrated
next
pig.
to pig castration.
I got it.
What you think? Maybe
I mean-
Ghost Rider? I don't know.
That was my first
I think
guess.
so.
I could see him as doing a Ghost Rider.
I think so. That would probably be the fit for him. I don't know what else. What other? What Iron
Right?
Fist? They recast him Iron Fist.
I think Keanu's a little bit too old for Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, sarcasm.
Was it?
Yeah.
This is slightly awkward.
It's all good. It's all good.
I am the
No, I
Iron
don't know.
Fist.
I mean, but I mean, they, Kevin Feige and
Take a second.
Kevin Feige and Keanu Reeves have both said in the past that like for years they've been meeting up for like multiple Marvel projects to figure out a good fit for him. So this is something that like for a long time they've been trying to.
They're just trying to pick the right one.
Yeah.
Imagine he's Mr. Fantastic. They confirmed that they casted the first member of the Fantastic Four.
Wasn't it
They
the
didn't
thing?
confirm that. Rumored.
What?
It's
I
rumored.
thought it was someone for the thing.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. It's still rumored.
Yeah.
What? Remember we talked about that guy? I know
Yeah,
we're talking about Kyler.
that's what I'm saying. I thought we had this discussion.
Yeah,
Like
the
a few months
Filipino.
ago.
It was
I don't
a
know.
Filipino dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bald,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But that wasn't confirmed. He just shared it on like his Instagram, and he was reading a Fantastic Four comic. But no,
Listen.
Oh,
it wasn't like.
I cannot wait for Fantastic Four and X-Men to come into the MCU. All I ask is that we stick closely to either plot lines from the comics or good plot lines in general. I don't care if you make Mr. Fantastic, Filipino dude. Like, it doesn't change anything. I just want a good
the
plot.
fact that it's going to be under the actual MCU umbrella now means that we're probably going to get like a more cohesive
Comic
storyline.
accurate.
Yeah.
I saw a screenshot of
Shocker.
A leak.
It's nothing crazy. I have plenty of leaks. I'm not going into leak.
I want to hear it.
Okay. I already told Joey one of the leaks. Anyway, it was for the new Doctor Strange trailer that dropped. You know, I guess we can get into that later. But you know how it shows the Marvel opening sequence at the beginning of the trailer.
Yep.
With all the different scenes from
correct
Marvel movies.
And one of the letters, I believe, is bottom right corner. I could be wrong. It actually showed the original X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Oh, how do people catch this stuff?
Oh. Every time I watch something with Marvel, I try to look at each individual like part of one letter and work my way across to see what I can see. I know it always ends with T'Challa with Black Panther like punching the ground and like the purple like explosion thing.
In the M, they added Shang-Chi in the M.
Yep.
Ooh, nice.
They made additions and stuff like that. I always try to pick them out.
So yeah, so they use...
funny as the Spider-Verse movie. That poster on the back of the Spider-Verse movie is December 17th. Which I thought was really funny because the new movie Spider-Man came out December 17th.
Yeah.
Oh.
What is this?
That Into the Spider-Verse, there's a scene where he's in the dorms, and in the background there's a poster of something, and it says December 17th.
Are you serious?
I wonder if they did that. If Spider-Man No Way Home did that on purpose, or if Into the Spider-Verse did that on purpose.
No idea.
They're both Sony.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's obviously a connection there. It's just which one did it for which
I never
one.
picked up on that.
We know that X-Men and Fantastic Four are coming into the MCU within the next 2 to 3 years. Kevin Feige said he had a 5-year plan. We're I think 2 years away from the end of that 5-year plan, and his 5-year plan was to introduce X-Men and Fantastic Four smoothly into the MCU. So sooner or later, sometime next year or 23, we're getting an end credit scene or a cameo.
See, with MCU, it's always hard to tell because they're so good at like dropping small hints, but also sometimes with certain things they just jump right out at you. So it could either be like them casually mentioning like the name of someone from X-Men, or someone from X-Men just showing up in full costume just out of nowhere with no context and just like, whoa. It could be either one.
I thought Michael Fassbender and Ian McKellen and all these people were going to come out for
in WandaVision.
We got brought to reality real quick from that.
Holy crap.
And then
I think WandaVision
Wiley
taught the audience to tamper their expectations.
I remember talking to Wiley. We're in the airport and we're getting into the airplane and we're talking about Spider-Man. And I'm like, don't tell me. I'm just going to let you know a couple of my theories for this movie. I think that when Doctor Strange is holding the universe apart, we're going to get all the old X-Men. I think we're going to get Hugh Jackman. I think we're going to get Halle Berry. They're going to get Ian, all these people. And he goes...
See the CGI just drop in the movie. Just that. All pixelated.
He goes, do me a favor. Just take it down just a little bit. That's a lot.
Your expectations are...
He was like the original Fantastic Four going to come through everywhere. And he was like,
he just wants to see Jessica Alba.
Yeah,
that's all he wants.
Give me, what's her name? Invisible Sister. Give me her back in this thing. Jessica Alba in anything. That's
what Human Torch calls her.
Invisible Sister.
There we go.
Oh man.
This guy.
Can we shift gears a little bit and just speak briefly about the Nicolas Cage movie?
Bro,
he does have a movie coming out.
Playing himself.
Because we've discussed.
I saw that trailer.
The other Angel Mendez.
Yeah. There's a trailer of a new Nicolas Cage movie, and it's him playing himself in the movie. But
it's like a movie about himself being Nicolas Cage and being this like weird actor trying to turn his life around
and accepting roles because he's broke. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is what he accepts roles for. He has an addiction to weird art pieces.
In Superman.
Really?
Oh my goodness, that's right.
He owns a first edition Superman comic book. It costs like $600 million or something like that.
Remember, he almost played Superman.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, he wanted to play Superman. I don't know how close he actually got to almost play.
I believe he tried on the suit and everything. He got pretty
far.
You forgot? Dare look at the picture?
No. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this.
It was Superman Dies. That was the movie. He had full long hair. Screen tested the whole suit.
The Brandon Routh one?
Look it. There you go.
Whoa.
Oh. Yep. So the world needs saving.
Oh.
World
That's
needs
a no
saving,
for me,
Riley.
man.
The world needs saving.
We gotta get a move on.
It's
There's
kryptonite.
some things you can't unsee.
Whoa, is that kryptonite?
You're welcome. Oh man.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. But I'm so very.
I will not
excited
watch that
for
movie.
this. I will
never watch that
I will
movie.
be there over Thursday at 6:30.
Bro,
Oh,
it
no.
looks
I'll
so
waste my
funny.
money.
IMAX, baby.
It looks so funny.
I'm so excited for that because we were just talking about how weird Nicolas Cage is.
But how
the fact that
look how-
like
good on him for
doing a
embracing
Accepting
movie
it.
about like
embracing
naming himself.
his own meme. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that's amazing. And they talk about like his other movies that actually did well, like The Rock and all that stuff.
hmm
I'm so excited for that.
That's what I'm saying. Is Nicolas Cage a good actor or a bad actor?
He's a phenomenal actor.
You say that, and I'm tempted to pull up the picture of him getting eaten by the bees. All right, from that movie.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure I've showed you this.
Oh.
Where they
Getting
put on the helmet
eaten?
of the bees, and the bees are just going crazy at him, and he's just the worst acting scene you've ever seen in your entire life.
I have not seen this. This is a thing.
I'm not gonna make Wiley edit some more, but I'll put
No, it's
a
fine.
reminder here.
Send it to me
Yeah, I'll edit
in the group chat because I want to see that. Wait, so he's pretending to get attacked by like a million bees.
It's.
Oh my goodness, that is so
I know.
bad.
You've never seen worse acting in your
I'm
life.
so excited.
Okay, so I don't know how true this is. I just saw this. Kraven the Hunter will reportedly be coming to the MCU, not just the Sonyverse. The character is confirmed to be appearing in the future Marvel Studios project.
Played by Aaron Taylor Johnson.
What's the?
I was gonna say yeah. We discussed this a while ago with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh yeah, we did. One of
Quicksilver.
the
Yeah,
movie news days.
yeah.
Because it was weird that he was gonna be playing two different people in MCU.
Mm.
Which
That is weird, and not two side characters. Quicksilver was big in Ultron, and
Mm-hmm.
Craven, I'm sure, is going to be big too. Interesting.
Another
wonder if-
timeline?
Is he
It's a good point.
only a Spider-Man villain, or does he interact with like other?
he's mainly Spider-Man. I think after, because he's such a good hunter, he's using like as side character stuff to like hunt down other people, but mainly it's Spider-Man.
Okay, I wasn't sure. All right, so most likely it will be a Spider-Man project.
Yeah, that's why it's in the Sonyverse or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. It's Sonyverse, not Spider.
So originally
like MCU?
Sonyverse, but apparently what Joey said, he might be in the MCU as well.
Yeah.
NSU.
Oh, okay, yeah. Interesting.
Imagine Wanda saying him, Pietro, and then he's like, no.
Yeah.
Well, his hair probably won't be silver. Is he gonna have that like cringy goatee and like the
Probably.
leopard pelt, like
Just
shoulder
no
pad?
shirt.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
that's awesome. Yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
I love the comic book
He's
accuracy.
gonna have the spear.
Yeah, I like how they're changing it up.
So due to the success of Spider-Man, Marvel is doing reshoots for Doctor Strange and introducing a lot more hero cameos.
I love it.
So
I love it.
They already had quite a few confirmed, and now they're doing reshoots to add more variants of other characters and stuff like that.
We're going to get addicted to this kind of adrenaline that we get in MCU movies, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You got to be.
I saw
careful
one.
because it's gonna
I
be
saw
hard.
one with him.
It's
I
gonna
told
be
you
hard
one.
for them to continue to meet that bar.
And you confirmed
Yeah,
the other one for
I
me.
confirmed one for Joey, which is like,
Well,
which I saw.
they- yeah,
sort
don't
of.
even, we don't even.
I can't tell you. Maybe
If
not.
I can't know, I don't even want to talk about it. It's disgusting.
I'll tell you all right
Yeah,
now.
right, I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
We'll do it right now.
you want one
Drop
right
it.
now? Spoiler right now? Just
Nope.
one character?
This is a this
You
is a
can do
family
it. I'll
show.
take my headphones off. I don't care.
Wait,
Go
you gonna
ahead.
watch
No,
the
you can't do
episode?
it. No.
No, we're
No.
joking.
I don't think,
I won't watch the
any
episode.
of us three want to know.
Thank you,
I'll
Angel.
skip
Yeah,
it
this
altogether,
poor,
yeah.
You don't
Angel's
want-
a poor
you don't wanna
innocent
know-
bystander.
You don't want to know
It's
one?
collateral damage.
You don't want to know
Innocent
one out of like
bystander.
20?
20? Is that how many are
Well,
confirmed?
I'm just saying you never know. I don't know how many confirmed at the moment. I know.
Holy cow!
No, I don't want to know any. I don't want to know any.
Right.
None. If I had to guess, if I have to total
The one I
guess,
saw was a rumor, and then Wiley's like,
okay, I'm gonna cover you guys' faces because I don't want to see reactions. If I had to guess, I'd say Mr. Fantastic, and I'd say Professor X. Those would be my guesses because they're two of the leaders of the groups. Now I'm gonna uncover your guys' faces.
Good guesses. Right. I mean, hey,
thank you.
No, don't make comments about.
Yeah, don't. No,
I
please
just
don't
say
if it was good or not.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you say. You could have said Squirrel Girl, and I would have said good guess. I mean, you never know.
One day, a man can only hope.
oh man,
I love Squirrel Girl.
So Michael Keaton is coming back officially as Batman in the Batgirl movie.
Mm-hmm, confirmed.
Haven't we said this like 30 times though about Michael Keaton coming back as Batman?
Well, he's in the Flash.
In the Flash,
and now he's going to be. So basically, going forward, he's going to be the Batman we see most often in the DCEU.
Well, it's not going to be Val Kilmer or George Clooney, so
it could be Ben Affleck. You know, like no Ben Affleck. It's
not going to be Ben Affleck.
That's what I'm saying.
So the Robert Pattinson Batman isn't in the DCU.
Nope. He's completely separate. Amazing.
Woo! That's what we need.
That's beautiful. March, guys.
That's March.
I know. I cannot.
It's around the corner.
That is around the corner. Close.
That trailer is one of the best trailers I've ever seen in my life.
I know that hurts.
Don't do that to me. Don't.
We don't look back towards things like
that. You know, Wendy doesn't think it's gonna be good.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it really doesn't.
That's an opinion I just completely disagree with.
If you're not like a huge comic book fan and someone who like absolutely drools over this sort of stuff, then
she likes you know what it is, because she's absolutely in love with Christian Bale, like Nolan Batman.
I mean, that's a totally
that's life. Let's move on. She thought Spider-Man wasn't going to be good, bro. She didn't want to go.
She was tired.
You had to fight Wendy to go.
Yeah.
Thought it wasn't going to be good.
I mean,
you put her in a half Nelson and drag her to the theater if you have to.
I'll tell her that because then she's going to call me and she's going to be like,
she's talking junk over here. Expect the call after this podcast. Just
I figured I would receive one. There you go. I'm in hot water now.
Yeah, you are.
Have we discussed the Buzz Lightyear trailer at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we talk about it? We did? Yeah. Okay. I'm really excited. I think about that on occasion.
Can we talk about
that would be awesome.
Can we talk about how garbage that Moon movie looks? Moonfall?
Oh,
the one that they showed randomly in the Spider-Man trailer.
Garbage? Did you say garbage?
I'm excited for that.
Did you see the type of CGI that it is though? Like it looks.
I don't care.
That movie looks like what I need in my life.
Like a
bombastic
weird
space sci-fi
for a a mix. I need a hit.
Yes, it's been a long time.
We don't get enough sci-fi. I don't care if the CGI isn't good.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your points. It just looks like it's gonna be like we're gonna predict every moment of that movie as we're watching it.
Possibly. I have no problem with that. Like
it's just gonna scratch an itch that I need.
I knew every scene that was going to happen in Pacific Rim before I saw it.
Yeah,
but it was like a sci-fi
Pacific Rim.
That's a
good point.
That's true. Pacific Rim still is up there with one of my favorite movies.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Until we get Nolan's World War, atomic bomb, mammoth walking movie.
Hold on.
Mammoth. We did talk about that.
The woolly mammoth.
Did we discuss the cast? That's
yeah, we did
for Oppenheimer.
Yeah, we did.
About
the new people that were added
for the Manhattan Project.
We did.
Yeah, we talked about
Florence Pugh is playing this guy's lover.
Florence Pugh. Oh snap!
Who's
Oppenheimer's?
Oppenheimer.
Cillian Murphy.
Hey, what's that look?
She's like, what was that for? Why did you slap me?
Yo, she sounds just like this.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah. Why would you slap me? Where did that come from?
We've been going on for a while, so we should probably get to the Hawkeye trailer, right?
You're right.
Yeah, I don't really have any more entertainment news. If I'm being honest.
No more. Darian, anything more?
Nope.
Anything about pigs? Okay.
Nah.
Oh wait. You wrote down something you wanted to go back to.
Never figured that out.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, what's in your notes?
I didn't write it down, probably.
Oh,
just there now.
No, I did.
Probably just want pork rinds.
It's real quick. What is going on with Star Wars behind the scenes? Mandalorian comes out in 6 days, and the only advertising I've seen,
Boba Fett, you mean,
is on Instagram. Yeah, I'm sorry, Boba Fett.
I was gonna say.
I saw. You know what? No. Boba Fett.
Book of Boba
I
Fett.
saw on Instagram and I was like, wait, hold up. That's like in a week. This thing is coming out.
That is
forgot
disgusting.
About it.
What are they doing behind this? There is no marketing for this. There's no hype that has been built up for this. It's like Disney's just throwing Star Wars to the side and completely forgetting about it, which kills me.
Focusing on Marvel, which
so
I
annoying.
understand because they don't want to take any hype away from Spider-Man right now. All the hype leading up to this has been on Spider-Man, so they're not going to try to cram Boba Fett in there either.
Isn't Boba Fett the only recent Star Wars show coming in right now? Aside from like next year, like halfway into next year or something like that?
I think we get Obi-Wan in March, is it?
I think a little bit later.
Isn't Mandalorian supposed to be before?
We don't know. There's no news on when Mandalorian is coming out.
Because
I think Mando just started filming like a month or two
Mando
ago,
was supposed to be right after Boba Fett, and they I don't know what happened.
There's nothing. It's like a mess. It gets me so frustrated because Star Wars has so much potential.
Yeah,
but hold up,
they have the new game.
Can we talk about the High Republic game because
Eclipse looks phenomenal.
That looked dope.
Oh my
God. I really thought at first it was Fallen whatever, like part 2.
Oh,
Dude, that you guys have seen the trailer obviously, right?
Yep.
5 times. It looks so good.
There's no doubt in my mind that we will see young Dooku.
Oh, 100%. We have to.
Like that's you're gonna see young Dooku.
No. It's High Republic.
You know, High Republic is too early. That's too early.
Several hundred years before Dooku was born. We'll see Yoda. He was in
High Republic is about 500 years.
Yeah, it's 500 years before Episode 1.
Yeah.
So we won't see Dooku. That is 100% a fact that we won't see Dooku.
Listen,
Dooku's a human. He's not a long-lived species, but I'm sure eventually we'll see some kind of like, I mean, the book, but maybe in another video game. But he's not going to be in this one. But do you guys know the premise of this game?
I just know it's set in High Republic.
Or I just know it's High Republic.
Not the premise, but like, do you know who the developer is?
Nope.
Okay, it's the same people who did Detroit Become Human.
That's right.
So the video game is going to be you taking. Cool. It's going to be you guys or the player taking the role of like I think it's 3 or 4 individual characters
and making decisions.
Depending on what decisions you make, it affects the rest of the story as you play the game.
Nice.
You have to play like 5 different times.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you could play the game 3 or 4 different times and get totally different outcomes for every decision you make.
Yeah. Oh, nice. All right, that was it. That was all I had to mention. Just venting about Star Wars real quick.
I agree, Darian. Their marketing is just...
It's very frustrating.
And we still have no idea what the heck Boba Fett is about.
Right? None.
Yeah, we keep seeing that same clip of him saying,
I know, on the
seat. Like it's like
which is what we saw at the end of Mando when they announced the show,
the Book of Boba.
Exactly. So we haven't seen anything new. Yeah,
nothing.
Well, all right, we can move on. Let's move on to Hawkeye.
Hot guy.
Should we discuss the whole? Yeah, I mean he is a hot guy, but Hawkeye.
Wait, before we do, I feel like we need to. I feel like a few of us have some comments.
Yeah, that's right. You do. That's right.
All right, go ahead. Darren, take over.
Definitely do.
Yeah, I just want to say I've received multiple death threats to my family from the Swiftie community after the comments made on the last podcast.
That's right. The Lipo podcast.
My children have been threatened. Yeah, my family. I've received anonymous boxes at my job. It's been a rough time.
We got our advertising pulled too.
That's right. But, as you can see, we're no longer sponsored by nuts.com. They have pulled their sponsorship from the show.
They said they didn't want to support the things we had said.
That's right.
The comment made after the last episode in the comments was interesting, and I agree with the vast majority of it. Very good points were made. The only thing I disagree with is not knowing the full story before we speak. And the reason I disagree with that is because, I mean, we are just 4 guys on the podcast just shooting, the stuff with each other. If I had to research every topic before speaking on it, we know nothing about any of the topics we're speaking of. It's purely opinion-based stuff that we say on this thing. Mm-hmm. But That being said, I did say that all of Taylor Swift's relationships ended toxically, which was uncalled for, especially since I can only name 2 of her boyfriends. So I was just continuing the meme that I've heard, which I probably shouldn't have done. So yeah, that was all I had to say. We can move on to the Hawkeye review.
Yeah, Taylor Swift reached out to me personally and said, I don't appreciate the stuff that was said, especially the things that Kyler was saying on the podcast. It was like a little too much. But we'll move on.
It's crazy. We're sorry. How about you tell her I don't have a platform? None of us have a platform.
So we're gonna discuss. We're gonna discuss the season finale or the whole season. What are we thinking here?
I think the whole season.
Whole season.
Probably better off.
Season as a whole. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh,
good music though. I listened to.
Let's start with Wiley, because Wiley has a positive outlook on the show.
Man.
Oh okay. Yeah.
Ooh. Do we not all have positive outlooks?
Oh no, Kyler. These guys hate it.
Okay.
Especially Darian.
We're gonna have a few things to talk about.
Darian more than me.
Interesting.
So I will say I definitely enjoyed the show. And I want to base that off of I am enjoying the show purely for what it was made for. This was not a progressed MCU storyline anymore. This was not a, oh my God, Hawkeye is the greatest superhero. No. This show was purely to flesh out his character a little bit more, give him even just a little bit more backstory. They did it with Black Widow. She didn't have a movie, so they made her one after she died. Obviously, Hawkeye really isn't in the Avengers anymore or whatever, so they just gave him a show as kind of like it's more for closure as fan service, and to pass that torch along. And also, I mean, it gave us a few cameos and a few more extra stuff going on in the future of the MCU, which I enjoyed. I don't know, like
we're gonna go into spoilers here, by the way, to the listeners, because just be easier.
This was more street level, boots on the ground type of storyline, which I had no problem with. Go for it, Kylie.
So apparently, I didn't realize that we were divided in our opinions. I'm very much on the same side as Wiley, so I figured I'd go after him because a lot of shows have like bottle episodes. This was like a bottle show, which is kind of like what Wiley was saying. It has no real ties to anything else in the MCU. It was literally just like this small enclosed bubble that Hawkeye was involved in, and I absolutely loved it. It met all of my expectations because it really actually closely followed a lot of the comic book stuff. And in the comic books, he's not going up against like Thanos one-on-one. He's fighting like street gangs, which is something you can expect from someone who just has a bow and arrow. It's not like trying to punch above his weight class or anything like that. And I like that this was a really good starting point for the young Avengers with Kate Bishop. This is like probably the first piece of media that we're going to get that's going to most likely end up building up into possibly another series of movies or something like that. So I thought it was great at what it was trying to do. And I wish it was longer, to be honest. It caught me off guard with only 6 episodos.
I could have done like 2 more episodes, I think.
I thought they made.
Darren, before you speak, I want Angel to go next.
I know. What's your opinion, Angel?
I have mixed emotions about it. I personally didn't really like it that much.
Okay. Interesting.
I watched so I forgot that it even came out at one point. And then my friends were all like, "Hey, dude, have you watched this episode yet?" It was like the first one. I was like, "No, I haven't watched it yet." I was like, "I'll watch it like next week." Then all of a sudden, episode 5 comes out, and they're like, "Hey, you gotta watch this episode. You're gonna watch it or not?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll watch it." I had to watch like 5 different ones, and I figured out there was only 6 episodes, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So it felt a little rushed to me, honestly. I wasn't expecting anything big either because it was just about him and her.
Yeah,
I didn't really expect anything big, but it did okay for what it was. I just didn't really like it that much. I felt like a lot of the stuff happened a little bit too fast. That was just me.
It's interesting.
Darren, you're gonna go last because of your hatred for it. Okay, so I'll go next. So I agree with both Wiley, Kyler, and Angel. It it had its good parts. Like, he's not fighting Thanos. He's fighting, gangs. It was nice to see him in that aspect. What I didn't like were the different conflicts that were going on all at once. It felt so jumbled up, and it just didn't feel organized at all, and that messed it up for me.
I can absolutely agree with that, especially in the last episode. There was like 4 different things happening simultaneously, and it was the longest. I think they said it was the longest show.
It was an hour,
like running episode to date with their individual like original shows. But even then, it was like they were wrapping up several different loose ends that had been made throughout the show, and it was there was a lot going on. I can agree to that.
Yeah, and it's just I know Darren will touch up on character development, and that's a big thing, and I can agree with this. It just felt like it was just like kind of like a flat plane, maybe a little bump, but I mean, I get it. This dude Clint, he just wants to retire, so
yeah, he looked like it the whole time. Jeremy Renner or Clint, either one of them wanted to be in the show. So obvious. So you mentioned that this show was a self-contained
Hold on. You say Jeremy Renner like he doesn't like. The whole point is he's supposed to be tired of being Hawkeye. He doesn't want to be Hawkeye anymore. That's why he's so tired.
I guess there's a different. I'm no expert on acting. There's just it seems like a little bit different from like an I don't want to act in the show. Like I'm tired. He finished rapping on a movie and 2 weeks later started filming Hawkeye. To me, that seems like it carried over into the show. Not just because Hawkeye's tired, but it was just like his performance was just blasé every single time. No matter what he was doing, it was just like, yeah, I'm going to be home for Christmas. Don't worry. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be with you guys. Oh, I got to be home for Christmas. It was just that. I just, I was hoping it would be over after the first 2 episodes, but that continued.
He's not excited to be Hawkeye.
No,
it's the acting. It's not the Hawkeye thing. But you mentioned that acting the show is a self-contained bottle, right? So WandaVision was quite literally a self-contained show in a bubble. Yet watching WandaVision, you feel like you have to watch that show to understand things going forward and who she is as a character. This show changes nothing in the MCU except for the introduction of a new character.
What has WandaVision changed so far in the MCU in the past?
Her entire character arc in WandaVision was learning how to deal with emotions, being the strongest character in the MCU.
But
you can't just go and create a bubble of a city and put those people in there and do that kind of stuff. She had to learn that over the course of 8 episodes.
You can argue that was a buildup because her character is still being explored. And she's going to be used a lot more in the future projects.
Hawkeye
is retired.
This may be his last season or last thing. Yeah.
This is closing the book on Hawkeye. WandaVision was opening up a brand new chapter on Scarlet Witch.
Look,
they're two opposite things.
We had Iron Man's 1 through 3. We had Captain America's 1 through 3. We had Thor 1 through. We're gonna have 4 now, right? We didn't. There's 3 characters from the original 6 Avengers that didn't have their own movie. Okay, you could say Bruce Banner. Yeah, it was the Edward Norton one, which is now why he's gonna be in She-Hulk because they need to explore his character more, give him more of a spotlight. You had the Black Widow movie. She never had a movie, even though she was one of the original Avengers. They made her a movie to kind of flesh out her character a little bit more. The only one left was Hawkeye, who...
This did nothing for his character.
It definitely did.
We got nothing for his
It gave him more backstory, gave him more depth.
I don't know what backstory he got here. We learned almost nothing about Ronan except for he did things in the underground.
But Ronan doesn't matter. Other people. Ronan isn't the point.
And
Hawkeye is
all
the
they
point.
did was showed his family.
Yeah, but if you pay attention to the dialogue, it tells you a little bit more about how he feels about what he's done over the years, how he felt about being an Avenger, how he felt with his wife, his relationship with Natasha, all those type of things.
And his wife's backstory too.
It was
my problem was a huge reveal at the end there. I was like, what the heck?
Dumps.
Yo.
That it was just through
all these movies, man. I'm like, what? How is his wife so cool with him? How is his wife, just living life with these kids?
She was a former SHIELD agent.
And then we finally get it. We finally get the answer.
Spoiler alert, she was a SHIELD agent. She was Mockingbird, bro. Like Agent 19.
Agent 19.
Oh, okay.
Ken was telling me that today.
When did they say she was Mockingbird?
The watch had the 19. The back of the watch. Agent 19 is Mockingbird.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. I saw the SHIELD logo.
Which in Agents of SHIELD, they had a Mockingbird, so that's non-canon, right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon. It was probably just a different
unless she probably
version.
took up the mantle of the Mockingbird or whatever.
Yeah.
I think she's actually going to get her own show, or she's going to come out in a new show. I think it's Echo or something. She's going to appear again.
In the Echo show? In the Echo show?
I think she's going to come out in Echo, or she's going to have her own show.
Echo is
I can't
Maya.
remember which one. Yeah.
Makes you wonder if they've had that plan this whole time.
Echo's getting her own show?
Yeah.
Echo is Maya.
I didn't like her. She bored me.
Which one?
She was the Carly
the
whatever from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Same thing for me.
Carly Morgan.
I feel like she had more of a reason to be angry than Carly did, because she's going after the person who it was like revenge.
Yeah. Carly's story was stupid. In fact,
I agree. I didn't like Carly's story.
Honestly,
her reasoning was ridiculous. All that stuff.
I like Hawkeye more than Captain and the Winter Soldier.
I agree. Yeah.
For me, it's like far below. Also, so what I was saying was when it comes to like explaining, there's a difference between showing character development and then just giving exposition dumps on, I felt bad 3 years ago when I had to do this. I felt bad 2 years ago. I felt good doing this. There's a difference between that and then showing someone's character development. For example, look at how Loki was at the beginning of his show, and 6 episodes later, what a different human being he is at the end of it. That was character development shown. Where can you? Where can you say it about Hawkeye? He
the whole
time at all.
The whole time he was mad at Kate, wanted her gone, whatever. Until the end, he embraced her, trained her. He even to protect her wanted her to go away, because when Yelena threw her off the building, he relived the whole Natasha thing because he thought he lost her by falling off of the thing. So
all I think that was like being patient with her. I don't see it as being.
You know what, Darian? I really think because you went into negatively into this show, you only seeing negative things.
No,
because,
I think you're wrong.
Because from the beginning you hated this show before it even started. Mm-hmm. You were like, I could not be less excited. I was the one excited.
I'll pull up the video when we watch the trailer.
You said I could not be less excited for the show. You changed it a little bit. You said I'm a little bit more excited. But
okay, so I'll defend Darren right here. He said that at first until he saw the trailer, and he said he's more excited about it because it seems like an uplifting show.
More excited than rock bottom,
but he had a more positive outlook.
But out of all of us, he was still the least excited for the show.
This man didn't even.
I was the least excited.
This man didn't even want to watch episode 3. We kept saying, Darren, watch episode 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Nah, I think I'll skip it. Like, what do you mean?
It had its cool moments. It had its cool moments.
Everything about it was vanilla and cardboard. It's like it was all just these boring 2D characters. Like, what's this girl's name? The new Avenger, Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop.
Yeah, her mom's character was just like I
don't even like that actress.
She's Madam Mask.
Vera Farmiga.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Madam Mask.
She was also the mom in like Bates Motel, wasn't she?
Madam Mask.
She was in.
I didn't know that.
Not the last Godzilla, the one before King of the Monsters. She was in that one too. She was like the one who was like calling all the monsters and stuff like that the whole time.
Yeah. That is true.
I just don't like her very much.
She's Madam Mask, and then Jack was the swordsman.
Who's Madam Mask? Is she like?
Please explain these people to me.
They're just Kate Bishop, Hawkeye villains.
Her mom is a villain.
Wait, Jack becomes
one of her villains.
Jack is the swordsman who originally trained Hawkeye in the comics.
Interesting. So they're switching.
Red in the back.
Which is why they kept showing him with the sword.
In the show, he wasn't a villain though.
He was
someone that everyone was like, oh, he's going to be the bad guy, but then he was like, no, I'm actually cool.
Yeah.
We should probably mention Kingpin was
pretty cool.
Don't even get me freaking started on this guy.
Okay.
This genuinely gets me angry.
That makes me mad too.
Let's start with these two. Let's start with them first.
I'm here for the rebuttals. I'll hear any. I'll respond to anything.
So let's hear Darren and Angel first. Darren, go ahead.
Okay. I think when you go from something like, okay, first of all, before I begin, do we know if this is the same Kingpin as Daredevil?
Nah.
Or do we not know?
We don't know if it's the same universe. It obviously is the same actor.
Okay. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to go forward as if it is the same Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
if it's not, and this is a different Kingpin, then everything I'm about to say is not. It's not really valid.
Not valid, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I see most of the things that you say.
That's fair enough. This Kingpin, I don't understand how you can get someone so menacing and so smart in Daredevil, someone that's always 5 steps ahead of you, which is why it took Daredevil 3 full seasons to take this guy down.
Mm-hmm.
That makes you, every time he's on the screen, just commands the attention. To a show where he didn't come off as smart. This guy lost to a Kate Bishop who had 7 years in karate and was like a good, archer, and he loses to her in a 1v1 battle. It was the most unrealistic thing I've ever seen.
Well, to be fair, if I'm in a fist fight with you and then you blow me up, I think you're gonna win. I mean,
no, like I get it. The whole point of Kingpin is that he's 2 steps ahead. Like he anticipates that kind of stuff.
But he's also formidable in a fight.
Always. Yeah, his fights always weren't, 1v1 punching, but when they were,
he held ran over by a car and got up like nothing.
And like he launched her into the doghouse and stuff, and I was like, oh, cool. Like I like that. It's kind of comic booky, but still fun. Like I'm cool with that. But every step of the way, it was just like, oh my God, he's getting taken down. He's making mistakes. His people are falling apart below him. And then at the end, where they're like trying to make it seem like he got shot. I mean, we all know he's not that kind of thing.
What was it with the Hawaiian shirt?
That was weird. I don't know if it was
that was
Christmas
weird
or what.
Yeah, okay. Hawaiian shirt is the opposite of Christmas.
There's a lot of people.
So bad.
At Kaner, all the teachers in those Christmas would wear Hawaiian shirts. Don't know why. I think it's a white people thing. I don't know.
It might be. I don't know. It was weird. Like if you're gonna give me a Kingpin, if let's say they're planning on making a Kingpin spinoff or something like that, I just want Daredevil season 4, like I had mentioned to you guys yesterday. I don't want MCU Daredevil. If their shows are going to continue to be like this or like Falcon and Winter Soldier, then stay away from good shows like Daredevil with Kingpin.
There were more Kingpin scenes, including another post credit that was cut from the show.
And the post credit scene.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness! Musical. That was the worst thing I ever seen.
It was the musical. I was here for it. I watched the whole.
No,
they had so much potential to make it something else.
Well, okay. What would you expect?
Yeah, what are you expecting from this show?
You think something like that happens in real life? We have musicals like Cats,
which is garbage and is treated the exact same.
Okay, so. That's something that I would totally expect that to happen in real life if that were a thing.
I don't.
It's not saying I'm not. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying I'm not expecting it something to happen in real life, but this is MCU. You expect them to tie the show to something else that's coming up.
It's fun at itself.
You expected that for like what was it, Homecoming, and all you got was Steve Rogers saying, "What did we learn about patience?" It's not always going to be something. Yeah, it's like something stupid.
I didn't expect anything grand or anything like that. I don't think because like I had mentioned earlier, if we get addicted to these big adrenaline pumping, like huge cameos or big moments, you can't live up to it every time. So there has to be, shorter stuff here and there.
Yeah,
this isn't a big gripe of mine. Like it's not like a big deal. I just thought it was a really dumb end credit scene. Like,
it's more so the fact that they fleshed it out. They fleshed it out too much to the point where you thought something was going to happen towards the end and nothing did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will say that. I mean,
it's a good point.
I watched the whole thing, but when they kept going back to like the crowd, I was expecting something to happen there. And
you thought you were going to, I thought at least maybe seeing like some big character watching this.
Mark Ruffalo just sitting in the crowd.
Like watching or like old man Cap sitting in the corner somewhere watching.
Yeah. That would break my heart.
Yeah.
If you're not going to show like a character in the crowd, then don't show the crowd at all because I don't care.
Yeah.
Just
maybe give me Walker or Madam Hydra or something in the corner. Just a little. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. But
you know what? We say that
I don't know.
Next week there's gonna be like a screen capture and there's gonna zoom into the corner.
I know.
It's gonna be a little red circle with like Andrew Garfield
or
something
it's
watching.
Gonna be like Jake Gyllenhaal or somebody back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I feel like my biggest problems with the show were character development and it just not knowing what it was. Every episode was like a weird balance between long exposition scenes of like a half an hour of them talking and like, okay action scenes.
I think overall my biggest problem was your attitude, Darian. I think that was my biggest problem.
I got some choice words for you.
I did really like the trick arrows in the last one
when they're
like
building them.
The pim arrow.
God. No, not even the pim arrow. The freaking
the electromagnet one was cringe.
Dope. It actually made me cringe. The one where he like shot it into the ground and it spun around and sent like the spikes.
Oh, when he shot it,
I literally like went into a ball. I was like, oh. That's unsportsmanlike conduct.
We shot the dude with the arrow and all the darts came out.
Yeah.
The arrows were pretty cool in the show.
That's just
there were some unique ones.
I do like how they kept referencing Ant-Man because he's like, she's like, well, what happens now? He's like, I don't know. I got to call Scott and ask him. Like, like, you know, I like that. But that's because Kate is supposed to show up in Ant-Man. So,
who was Kazi? Is he someone, or was he just like a random character?
He was one of the Street Gang members.
Yeah, he was just.
He's just a dude.
Of the members of the tracksuit thing.
No, I know who he was in the show, but in like the comics,
he has comic roots.
Is he? Is he someone else, or because I felt like he was supposed to be someone, but I was just missing that. I'm not sure though. I might just be reading into it. That's the thing with these shows. You always like want there to be something deeper, but then there just isn't always something there. Yeah.
I'm really mad how they introduced Kingpin, honestly. There was like such a wasted opportunity to make him better than him crying about Kate's mom leaving him.
Oh yeah.
It was like,
Spirit of Christmas.
They wasted such a good talent.
I liked his cane.
His cane was pretty
cool. The fat suit that they gave him. It didn't look ridiculous or anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think all in all, we were pretty divided, but there you go. You got both sides of the.
I like the reference to the owl in the tree. There's a villain named the Owl. I don't know if you know about that. It's a Hawkeye villain. Yeah.
They're just doing all these like obscure villains in Spider-Man and in Hawkeye and all this stuff.
I saw some tweet when that episode dropped. And they had a picture of the owl, and they were like, "Dude, this has got to be Mephisto," and I just like couldn't.
The running meme now of us, our community.
Oh my goodness!
We should go back to those episodes and just look at the cringe of us theorizing.
That's what I was saying. I think in one of those episodes, I was like, "This is the great part about when we do this kind of stuff, when you theorize like crazy, and
you
then
go back
and listen to it." Because I had listened not too long ago to a podcast where they were talking about some movie. I think it was a Star Wars movie that now today it's been out for a few years, but they're theorizing about like, oh, what do you think is going to be in it? I don't know if it was like The Last Jedi or something. And then you're like, yeah, you guys, it was like Wiley went there. And you're like, yeah, take your expectations and really just bring them down a few levels. Because
I feel like I can't theorize with anyone anymore though, because Wiley knows every movie from here until 2029. Kyler is 47 now and despises like theorizing.
I only know.
I can theorize with Joe.
No. You misunderstand. I have no problem with theorizing, but when it gets to the point where every single thing that's said is so overanalyzed and just retweeted and all this stuff, and everyone wants to have their own different opinion.
This is the community.
But that's what's fun about theorizing, though.
Thank you, Angel.
But to the extent that it got to with Spider-Man,
yeah, old man.
Personally, it irritated me.
Yeah, dude. Like
Wiley, you look like you had some information.
I respect
I did.
Opinion.
I did.
Cut everybody off.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Go for it, Angel. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like when Batman showed up in Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Angel,
that.
I mean, we need a spoiler warning, bro.
We can just
mute him.
One, I was just gonna clarify. I don't know everything therein. I only know up until Doctor Strange at this point. Also, you mentioned is Kazi in the comics? He is. So he was just like a mercenary. He was like in a circus family, and they all died in like a subway explosion or something.
The Flying Graysons?
No.
Oh.
But Kingpin, the Owl, and the leader of the Tracksuit Draculas, which I guess Tracksuit Mafia was like a thing, hired him to kill Clint Barton, who he then killed Grills. So apparently Grills was a comic character also, a way to harass Barton.
I was just about to ask that if the LARPers were like actual comic book characters too.
Yeah, apparently Grills was real. But yeah, so I guess all of it was comic accurate in terms of like characters.
Okay.
Yep.
So Is there anything else after this review, or that's pretty much the episode, right? All right.
The episode, yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. On to the main episode, which is what comes out a week after, or the same. Or
you're saying like we're gonna lead right into it.
I always forget.
Well, I think we're posting Spider-Man first.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be episode 14.5. Okay. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening for Darian's angry rant and for his apology. All right, everybody. Lights out on the Lipo podcast.